Welcome back to McCall Invest. Today we have a very exciting video about my personal favorite retirement account and also investment vehicle for any type of investments. It is the Roth IRA. So firstly, what we're going to do very quickly, I'm going to read off from ChatGPT what I got here when I asked, what are the benefits of a Roth IRA? And we're going to go into that just very briefly on each point. I'm going to touch on them. But we're also going to, after that, do my top three bulletin points that I wrote down here before I asked ChatGPT the question. So we're going to see where they kind of overlap and where I thought of a couple other little things versus ChatGPT. And then I have a couple charts to show you. And this should be a very educational video, actually. So please pay attention. A Roth IRA, individual retirement account, that's what IRA stands for, is a powerful retirement savings tool in the U.S. with some unique advantages. Here are the main benefits. So number one, of course, tax-free growth. That's what it's all about, really. When we're talking about anything Roth, and we're talking about a Roth 401k, when we're talking about a Roth TSP, this one specifically is a Roth IRA. We are talking about making contributions to that account with after-tax dollars. So you went to work, you got your paycheck, they paid you $100, you got $80 after taxes. Of that 80, you invest however many into the Roth IRA, and that money then grows tax-free, which is amazing, and that can really be super powerful long-term. So your investments grow tax-free, and qualified withdrawals in retirement are not taxed. That's amazing. Great benefit. So I'm very happy that was listed first, actually. Tax-free withdrawals in retirement. So as long as you're 59 and a half or older and your account has been open for at least 5 years, withdrawals of both contributions and earnings are completely tax-free. So that's pretty early, actually. If we're thinking about a retirement account, if we're talking about Social Security, any of these retirement plannings, long-term financial independence planning or accounts or vehicles, anything that has to do with tax-advantaged accounts or tax-free accounts, 59 and a half is actually quite young to be able to withdraw your gains and as well as your contributions. So it sounds like a big number, but in reality, I think most of the numbers you'd see on some other accounts are bigger. So that's a tremendous benefit. And number three, you have no required minimum distributions. Unlike a traditional IRA or 401k, you're never forced to withdraw money during your lifetime. This makes a Roth IRA great for estate planning since heirs can inherit the account tax-free, though they must eventually take distributions. So more long-term estate planning type stuff. That one I think is a little less useful, but we'll move on to number 4 here. You can access to contributions anytime. You can always withdraw your contributions, but not earnings, tax and penalty free at any time. This provides extra flexibility if you need funds for emergencies. So this is really important. A lot of people say, whenever I talk to people about a Roth IRA, they say, but I don't want my money locked up until I'm 59 and a half. That's terrible. That's too old. I don't want to do that. Well, that's not the case. You can always withdraw your contribution. So if you put $1,000 a year for 5 years and something happens in that 6th year, you can get that $5,000 out. Every dollar you ever put in, you can still get out. You just can't take what that money's grown to. So let's say you put in $1,000 each year for 5 years. Now the account's worth $5,000. Your money's doubled. That's great. You can take the $5,000 out tax-free, penalty-free, get it right back just like a savings account and leave that other $5,000 that you didn't put in, that's all growth, to continue to grow. So there's a lot of flexibility with these account guys. Tremendous amount. I don't think that gets talked about enough. Number 6, great for tax diversification. Having both pre-tax accounts like 401k, traditional IRA, And after-tax accounts, Roth IRA, gives you more control over your taxable income in retirement. We're going to come back to that one. Potentially lower taxes in retirement. If you expect to be in a higher tax bracket later due to income growth, rising tax rates, or higher wealth, paying taxes now and enjoying tax-free withdrawals later is a big advantage. Yeah, so who thinks the tax rates are going to be lower in the future? I don't. I don't really see that happening. I mean, maybe, I guess time will tell, but typically taxes go up. So to have that already paid your tax on the money and know that it's growing and you're going to get 100% of that growth, you're going to get 100% of everything you put in, it helps me sleep at night. Number 8, estate planning benefits. So this again ties into another earlier point, number 3. So your heirs generally inherit Roth IRAs tax-free, allowing them to benefit from tax-free growth too, though subject to distribution rules like we spoke about briefly over there. And then ChatGPT was saying that this is best for younger savers with a long time horizon, so you have more tax-free growth, people expecting to be in a higher tax bracket later, anyone who wants flexibility and tax diversification in retirement. So some great points here. If you want to pause the video at this point, would be a good point. You could just pause, I don't know, take a screenshot, and then you'd have this whole roadmap from ChatGPT written down. But before I went on here, I actually wrote down 3 points myself. So my 3 favorite parts of a Roth IRA. I'm going to briefly discuss each one of them. So number 1, you don't need a job. That's right. Anyone can open this. You can just go ahead and open this. If you're working at the McDonald's, you're in high school, you made $2,000 last year, you worked part-time for your dad's lawn company, whoever you are, whatever you are, you can open this account. You don't need a job. You don't need an employer to sit you down and invite you to a Zoom meeting so they can tell you how they're going to take 2% of your contributions and give you 10 and yada, 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 yada. Don't get lost in the weeds here, guys. You don't need anything. Just go on eTrade.com. This is where I have my account. You can go to Fidelity.com. You can go to Charles Schwab. I mean, just Google it. There's a ton of platforms offering Roth IRAs for free and with no commission trading. So you can go ahead and start up right away. Just start investing, start getting that money working. You don't need a job, and which brings me to the next point. No need to transfer. You don't have to transfer from job to job, from state to state, over your career from now until you're 102. You can have this account and continue to contribute to it and have a long-term plan for yourself, regardless of whatever career choices you make, whatever different paths you may follow throughout your life. You'll always have this in the background cooking, just simmering, making that master stew there. Point number 2, you can choose your own investments. So for me, this is really important. I like to invest in individual stocks. I enjoy investing in individual stocks. I enjoy analyzing stocks. I like looking at companies. I like thinking about which brands I like. Oh, I prefer Coke to Pepsi. Whatever. I own both. But you can buy Bitcoin even. So if you're one of these people that thinks Bitcoin's going to go crazy and you're planning on holding it for a long period of time, whether it's going to go crazy in the short term or the long term, or you just say, hey, maybe I should get some now and just see what happens when I'm 60. Maybe I'll put $100. Maybe I'll put $100 into Bitcoin, and one day I'll be 65 and I'll see what it's doing. This is a place where you can buy it and not have to pay tax on that growth. Like, think about how nuts that could be. Okay, think about what year you're going to be 60 years old or 59 and a half years old or 65, whatever math you want to use. But imagine where Bitcoin's going to be. Imagine what Apple's going to be worth. Imagine what Coca-Cola is going to be worth, NVIDIA, Microsoft, any of these companies. Imagine what they're going to be worth. And wouldn't you like to press a button from that moment to this and buy some of that and ride that wave all the way up? And then all that money is tax-free. It's awesome. So point number 3, this ties into a couple here from ChatGPT. I said manipulate your tax bracket. So I'm gonna actually, I really love this phrase I've heard a couple of times on valuetainment. It says, "People talk, numbers scream." I really love that. But I'm gonna put some numbers on the screen here, and you can see you can manipulate your tax bracket if you have the Roth IRA, right? So let's say you're 65, you're a Walmart greeter, you make $11,599 that year greeting people at Walmart. You make almost $1,000 a month. Okay, but now you take, boom, you don't have to pay the 12% on that next dollar if it's coming from your Roth IRA. And of course, those who want, a little bit fatter fire, if you will, you can make up to these amounts. You can make up to 58,000. You can make up to 47,150. And of course, these aren't going to be the numbers when you're 60 years old. But just for illustrating the point here, you can say, all right, well, I'm going to make 45,000, and then I'm going to take 10,000 from my Roth IRA, and I'm going to save 22 cents on every dollar. Isn't that great? So that really helpful long term, really helpful in retirement. You're not going to want to pay anything extra. Again, guys, another point. This is just IRS.com, IRS.gov. Another great time to take a screenshot. Obviously, just Google this. Google the federal income tax rates and brackets if you want to understand how taxes work. You don't need to take a class on this stuff, guys. Just go ahead, look at this, and you'll get a much better understanding of how taxes actually work in this country. I know we hear about it on the news all the time, but here's the breakdown very simply. So not complicated. But yeah, so real quick, I'm just going to run through compound interest calculator so you can see how powerful this really could be. So let's say you start with 200 and you do $100 a month over 40 years. You get 9% interest rate, which is less than the S&P 500 has been historically. Let's calculate that. What is it? See, guys, $411,000 tax-free. All right, we're talking about a ton of money from very little. That's an Xbox game. That's a night out at TGI Fridays. Not a lot of money. That's how much they charge you to mow your lawn. Like, not a lot of money at all. You put 200 in right now, $100 a month. Let's bump that up. Let's say you say, I could do triple. I could do 300. I could put a car payment in. It used to be a car payment. Look, 1.2, boom, 1.2 million tax-free. Again, look at the numbers, guys. This is not a lot of money. This isn't even maxing out what you can put into the account. So you could put even more than this. Let's do 500 just for fun, very quickly, and then I'll let you guys go. Boom, 2 million. I mean, really? $500 a month. You could have 2 million in 40 years. Guys, come on. The time's passing either way. But yeah, another great website here, investor.gov. Quick shout out. I'd like to shout out, of course, PPC Ian, great channel. The Money Guy, another great channel. We love Dave Ramsey's show, tremendous channel, and Valuetainment. If you're looking for more content on this subject and some other really fun and exciting educational conversation, check them out. And thank you for spending some time with McCall Invest. Have a good one.